It's time to learn three chords, and they're the three chords that I just played. We're learning an E minor, C, and G. You'll notice that we're doing a blend of minor and major chords. Now, when these are put together, minors and majors, they create really nice sounding songs. Most songs out there will have a blend of minor and major chords. Rarely will you find a song with all minor or all major chords. Now, we're going to start with an E minor, and we'll look at the shape and the frets we're hitting, and then we're also going to look at the notes we're hitting and find some patterns in chords. For my E minor, I'm going to be strumming all 6 strings. I'm going to start with the open 6th string. Now, I only need 2 fingers for this chord. My first finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. My middle finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So 2nd fret for both my 1st and 2nd finger, just on the 5th and 4th string. Now, my next 3 strings that I haven't hit yet, we're going to play those completely open. So all 3 of them as open strings. When I combine that, I've got 0, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 0, 0, and 0. As for the notes in this chord, they are E, B, E, G, B, and E. So one of the first things we'll notice is that we have a lot of repetition, but we do have 3 unique notes. That's E, G, and B. What that means is if we played those 3 notes, E, G, and B, on the piano, or any other instrument for that matter, we'd still be playing an E minor chord, which is really cool. Now let's take a look at the C chord. For the C chord, we'll be starting on a C note. Remember, for the E chord, we started on an E note. This time, I'm going to take my ring finger and I'm going to place it on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. And really important, this is where my chord is starting. So I'm not even going to be hitting the 6th string when I'm picking. I have to skip over it and start strumming from the 5th string. So I've got my C note on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. Now my 2nd finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. My 3rd string is going to be open, no frets pressed down at all. My 1st finger is going to go on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And finally, my 1st string will be open as well, with no frets pressed down. Now, a really easy way to remember this chord is that the 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret, the 2nd finger goes on the 2nd fret, and the 1st finger goes on the 1st fret. So that's pretty easy to remember. So we've got E minor and we've got C. Now again, our notes for C are C, E, G, C, and E. So once again, we've got repetition, but 3 unique notes. and that's C, E, and G. And again, we could play those 3 notes on any instrument and be playing a C chord. Finally, we're going to learn a G chord, and this is one, like the E minor, we'll be hitting all 6 strings. I'm going to start with my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. That's a G note. My first finger will go on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Now, the next 3 strings, 4, 3, and 2, are going to be open. I don't need to press anything down. So I've got 3, 2, and then 3 open strings. Now, for the last note of G, you get to choose if you want to use either your ring finger or your pinky. I've seen it taught both ways, and different students prefer different fingers. But either way, we're going to place it on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So I could either put my ring finger there, or I could put my pinky there. I prefer using my pinky, personally. I like having my ring finger open if I want to play around a little bit and maybe press it on a note that I think sounds good. But a lot of people prefer using their ring finger instead. So for the G chord, we've got G, B, D, G, B, and G. So again, a lot of repetition with 3 unique notes, G, B, and D. And that's how you play an E minor, C, and G chord. Now, in your notes, these 3 chords are put in different orders, and I encourage you to try each of the orders so you can get really comfortable moving back and forth from shape to shape. When you're comfortable with those, we'll move on to the next course and look at 3 more chords.